Welcome back to Elevation Perspective. My name is Mark, joined today with Frank Tropiano. Frank, we have our year in review wrestling episode today. We're essentially both going to pick five of our favorite moments from the 2024 year in wrestling. How you feeling, Frank?
It's good. I mean, 2024 was a great year in wrestling, and specifically, in the WWE. So I'm pretty excited to get into this. I want to hear what you have to say. I know I have a few really great moments here. So
We're going to do this a draft-like format here so we don't have the same answers. We're also honorable mention here. We're not going to use the main event of WrestleMania because I think that would be both of our number one picks if we were allowed to use that. So no main event of Mania, none of the Cody winning with John Cena running out and the Undertaker coming out and all the chaos that happened in the probably no doubt best moment of the year. So we're not going to touch that one. But because I am such a nice guy, Frank, I will let you choose first.
that is very kind of you. And so I have no clue where I was going to go with this pick because there was a lot of great moments, and I don't necessarily have like a better feeling about one than the other. So I am going to go with what the internet told me was one of the best moments in wrestling. And I'm going to go with Joe Hendry making his NXT debut. Obviously, one of the most watched wrestling videos on the internet this year. It was fun. He's just a fun type of, uh, aura to him. And I really hope he's in the Royal Rumble because I think the pop is going to be insane if he is.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Hendry had such a ridiculous impact. I don't think either of us ever really heard of him. Maybe we heard the name before, but he definitely not like mainstream enough to when he came out in NXT for that first time, say his name and he appears. Like that was a crazy moment that everyone was going nuts about. So I think that's a great, at least number. We're not going to exactly number these, so it's not number one, not number five, but I think Joe Hendry's a no-brainer. But Frank, that's a great number one for you. I'll throw in my first top moment of 2024 now with the promo between Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns on the football field. The I Am the Storm promo where Roman Reigns says, "You're in my way in life." I thought that was such a great promo in so many capacities, but especially just the production value, what WWE is now. It was like a movie. It was like cinema out there. I know they said Paul Heyman like directed the whole thing. And it just felt, I felt like I was there. Like it was such like an impactful moment there. And they really like solidified these two people in Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns as the big rivalry that we saw with like John Cena and Edge, John Cena, Randy Orton. Like this is like not our generation, but this is like the new rivalry.
Yeah, I mean, Cody and Roman is set to go for decades. The two of them are going to be connected. We got to see them together. You know, we'll get to see them face off against each other. Maybe we bring back like a brand supremacy thing, and they're on two different brands, and we'll probably see them clash in that. There'll be plenty of opportunities down the road because these seem like the two biggest pillars in WWE moving forward. And I'm sure we could also add Seth Rollins to that as well. But between the three of them, it seems like, yeah, I mean, they're going to be the guys. So I can't wait to see them all get back in the ring again.
Yeah, we've seen Cody and Roman both main events now, two WrestleManias. We're probably getting a third at some point. I don't know if it's this year, but you feel like this is going to be a trilogy that will blow over in some capacity and sometime. So I'll take Roman and Cody now. Frank, do you have a second answer for us today?
Yeah, so I was a little bit split between two bloodline members, between the OG bloodline and the new bloodline, but I'm going to go with the debut of Jacob Fatu. I thought that was awesome. From the second he's come in, he's been a bulldozer, just running over everything in his path. He's just been awesome. And that moment was really cool because everyone, it was weird with the speculation, right? Because the whole speculation was WWE has him, he's at these events, right? But no one confirmed anything. Like no one actually knew. It wasn't like Jade Cargill where they like paraded her around on Raw and SmackDown and then we eventually knew she was coming. You know, it was much more like they might have him, we think they have him, but we don't really know. And then boom, he came out and he did exactly what everyone expected him to do. And he's, quite frankly, him and Solo have stolen the show on many occasions this year. So props to him. I look forward to seeing more from him.
No, Jacob Fatu has been a true breakout superstar here over the year of 2024. Frank, do you remember there was a report right before he officially debuted and there was an internal debate within WWE. They were concerned that he was going to upstage Solo. They were like, they are going to gravitate around this guy, and he is going to become like the guy they want to be the leader of the new bloodline. I don't think that's happened. They've done a pretty good job with the "I love you" Solo, like making sure he was the second guy in command and not like the leader per se. But I feel like he has already surpassed Solo in terms of star power.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair. He's definitely made an impact in a very short amount of time, but they've also done a good job of us making sure we know he's going to work to get to the top. He's not just going to be given it, just like Solo wasn't given it, right? He was under Roman. They had him look tough and impactful. They're doing the same thing with Jacob. I don't mind it at all. If Jacob winds up being a bigger star than Solo, great, because Solo's going to be a pretty big star. You know what I mean? So that just shows how good Jacob is. It's not a knock on Solo, in my opinion, at least.
Okay, fair enough. So you take Jacob for two as your second answer. For me, I'm gonna go with Tiffany time. I'm gonna go with Tiffany Stratton, the year of Tiffany Stratton, I believe. I feel like she established herself as a true top. I don't know about top of the top main eventer, but she is right up there, the top upper mid card now. She has that briefcase. Of course, she's going to be a future women's champion, probably multiple time future women's champion. And I feel like she is just the full package. She has the talk, she has the look, she has the in ring ability. I think she is just a no brainer potential future Hall of Famer. Like she has literally everything going for her.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with that. This was a great year for her, and it started right at the beginning of the year, right? That Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, she was not booked as the star of the show or anything like that, but by the time that pay-per-view was over, everyone knew who Tiffany Stratton was. And she's taken the ball and she's run with it to Money in the Bank and now to what will most likely be a WWE Women's Championship reign. So yeah, I'm excited for the 2025 for Tiffy, and 2024 was great for her as well.
And I feel like she could be either a face or a heel. Like her look and her vibe like screams heel the way she acts, but they would get behind her so fast if they turned her. Like it would be so easy and organic to make her a face.
She's got a heel personality and look, but she's got the moveset of a baby face for sure. So they could definitely, her in-ring work will definitely dictate, what side she falls on there for sure.
100%. Frank, give me your third moment here.
Okay. I can't believe that we've only narrowed it down to five each because I think I could go on and on. But the next moment I want to pick, per se, is Jey Uso winning the Intercontinental Championship. And I think this was so big and so monumental because it is proven, and I'm going to say WWE's ability to make new stars for the first time in a while, right? That'll go back to Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa, all these guys that they have worked on to get over. And now, it's finally happening for them, right? You think about Jay, you always say it to me. We didn't know the difference between Jimmy and Jay. We didn't know who was who.
The odds and adversity that he had to overcome, both of them for that matter, because Jimmy is starting to be more of a singles guy in his own right, but continue. Yeah, Jay is just phenomenal. The whole story is great.
Yeah, and the entrance and the just the atmosphere when he comes into a match, you want him to win. I mean, and it's awesome. It's just awesome because listen, I'm sure if he was a tag team wrestler with his brother the rest of his life, he would have no complaints. They don't seem like those kind, he's never seemed like a guy who was like, I need to be in the main event. But now that he is, can't help but be happy for the both of them because you're right. Jimmy is also starting to grow as a singles competitor too.
It's just one of those things. Like you said, it's not really a new star per se because he was a tag team, probably one of the better tag team champions of all time for the better part of 10 years. But no one ever thought this for Jey Uso. Everyone was like, all right, they're going to be a tag team forever. They're never going to break up the Usos. If they do, we're probably not going to care. I feel like how many times have we seen an established tag team break up? Maybe one guy sometimes gets a rub and like it works for a little bit, but it eventually like kind of withers out. No one really cares. But Jey Uso is a legitimate main eventer. It's not just his saying main event Jey Uso. Like he is that guy now. And it's just an awesome thing to see as a fan.
He's a legitimate guy in any match you put him in. Sure, we might not think he's going to win, and he hasn't held a world title or anything like that, but he's a legitimate guy for sure.
Sticking with Jey Uso, my third choice here will be the OG Bloodline coming back together. There was a lot of question marks around the whole thing. Of course, Roman Reigns is kind of a tweener now. He's kind of a baby face because the fans are chanting, "We want Roman," but he hasn't really changed the way he's acting totally. There's some like moments where he kind of like breaks through and like cares about his family, but for the most part, he's still looking out for himself. Of course, there was the whole situation where he got back on terms with Jay. Jimmy was always in his corner. And then eventually Sami Zayn, after maybe teasing joining Solo's team, eventually came out there, saved Roman, joined that team. They all put the ones in the air. It felt like such an awesome moment just to have the crew back together.
Yeah, I mean, since the Bloodline has come on WWE television, they've been must-watch TV, right? Any form, OG Bloodline, new Bloodline, Roman, Solo, doesn't matter. So it was great to see them all back together. I'm glad they added Sami. I'm glad they didn't separate Sami from all of this. And I think it just goes to show, how much the WWE universe is starting to revolve around Roman, right? You got Drew McIntyre working his way back into a feud with Roman, possibly. At least that's what it seems like. Seth Rollins, we want in a feud with Roman Reigns. We want to see him beat Jacob and get his Ulafala back. We want him to see him in the ring with Punk, right? Like, so all these different things, Bloodline's awesome. Roman's awesome. Anytime it happens, it's always good.
He is the head of the table for a reason. The world revolves around Roman Reigns. Frank, what is your fourth pick?
So my fourth pick, and I'm deciding between two moments here, but the one that I think I have to pick is the Drew McIntyre CM Punk Hell in a Cell match. And I want to make this clear. There are three reasons why this moment is so special. Okay. Number one, the obvious. Punk gets over in his first feud back in WWE. He's back in WWE. He shows he's still got it. And he's got it. That bull rope match that they had was excellent. This took it to a whole nother level. Okay. Number two, this cemented to me Drew McIntyre as like one of the guys in WWE. I talked about those pillars, right? You could probably add Drew as a fourth pillar at this point because he is that special in terms of what he means to the company and what he can do. And number three, and this is admittedly lesser, but I still think it's important. This brought back Hell in a Cell for me. Like, I think the allure of Hell in a Cell was really, really dead. And this was like a blood feud inside Hell in a Cell. You know what I mean? This is now the standard, and I think we'll see it more with Triple H because that was his specialty match, or one of his specialty matches was Hell in a Cell, right? So we'll see this more with him. They're going to be meaningful feuds in that gigantic structure. You know what I mean? And so this set the tone for that, and I'm excited for Hell in a Cell moving forward.
You hit on the head there where this Punk and Drew feud embodied Hell in a Cell. I think we've seen in years past, they put kind of rivalries with no heat or no excitement into the cell, thinking that's going to make us care. But if we don't feel like these two guys legitimately hate each other, then the cell doesn't really matter to the fan. It's just a product. But like you said, these two men seemingly hated each other for almost 6 months this feud went on for. It was almost half the year, and it was the perfect finish inside of Hell in a Cell. My fourth pick here, another really talented women's wrestler that's been established over this year in Chelsea Green. I thought Chelsea Green had a ridiculous year, of course, recently winning the first ever United States Championship for the women's division. But Chelsea is just so talented, both in the ring, outside the ring. I think her comedic value is incredible. I just feel like you look at this and you built two legitimate stars this year in Chelsea Green and Tiffany Stratton. These are two women that they're my two favorite wrestlers now in the women's division. I think they're two women that can carry this division for years to come. I should have made them both like one choice here, but honestly, credit to them, though. They built two real stars here in the year 2024 in Chelsea Green and Tiffany Stratton. I love both of them.
Yeah, I mean, Chelsea Green was the right pick. We had been saying it for weeks. I thought maybe they were going to make her chase it a little bit more, but they just gave it to her right off the bat. Absolutely fine with that. Well deserved. She's fun, she's funny, and she's good in the ring.
That's all you can ask for at the end of the day. Frank, your final pick. Have you thought long and hard about this?
Yes. And I keep saying this, but I'm going to say it one more time. There are actually two things here that I wanted to pick. And if you don't pick the other one, I would like to give it an honorable mention. Sure. But I will say the debut of the Wyatt Six, to me, was a very memorable moment from this year. Now, I will say this with a caveat. For me, it's fallen kind of flat since that debut.
I was going to say the same thing, yep.
But that debut was awesome. I mean, it was awesome to Chad Gable being dead in the backstage area, to them entering through the it was a door, right? It was a cutout door, right? It was
Yes.
all just it was really well done. They established them right off the bat. That's the way you bring in talent like that. That was perfectly done.
No, it was definitely a tremendous debut. Like you said, I feel like they've really, I don't even know if fallen on hard times is correct terminology. I just don't know if they know what they're doing. I don't know. Like, I want to believe that Bo Dallas and the crew have thought this through like so thoroughly and they know exactly what the plan is here. But then you kind of see like week in and week out, their superpowers kind of like go away. Are they supernatural? Are they not? I know they don't really want to be, but then they like appear randomly in places where you should really only be able to if you were supernatural. So it's kind of like just we have to establish what their powers are and we have to establish what their motives and how this all works. I just feel like there's still so much uncertainty and up in the air here, but no, like it was the debut itself was tremendous.
Yeah, I agree with you what you were saying wholeheartedly about their motive. Definitely need to establish why are they here. We get bits and pieces of their motive, right? Like the Bo Dallas uh segment with the Miz where he was flashing back to the B team stuff. Like that was great.
Yeah.
It gave us a reason, right? We need more, maybe more of that kind of thing, especially with Bo having the career that he had prior, where he was kind of jobbed out quite a bit and stuff like that. They could definitely play into that. They do need a clearer direction, but in terms of for a moment, they were definitely to me. If we're taking 10 from this, it top 10 moment for sure.
So for my fifth and final choice here, there are two. I don't know how you didn't pick one. I don't know how I didn't pick one previously. The two here are the New Day segment, and then we have Dominic and Rhea. Those are the two where both should have been mentioned at some point throughout this episode. I'm taking the New Day segment, so sorry, Dom and Rhea, but the New Day segment was such an interesting segment in the sense that very few things surprise me now in the world of wrestling. I feel like usually you go into a situation where it's like, this is going to happen. If this does not happen, then this is going to happen. It's usually plan A or plan B. The New Day segment was plan Z. Not in a million years would I have suspected that Kofi and Woods are going to come together now to bash Big E to make them a stronger unit, a heel crazy unit. And I love the touch this week on Raw where Rey Mysterio came out there and said, "You guys are not coming in this locker room. You are not welcome here anymore." What an amazing segment to keep this New Day 10-year storyline going on. This new layer to it, absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, we touched on it right after it happened, right? And it was perfect. Like they couldn't have done it any better. One of the better heel turns probably in the history of the WWE. Um, I hope they continue to capitalize it. They've had some funny backstage banter with some of the other people, like you had mentioned. Um, but yeah, no, I hope that they continue to build on this, and I do hope that we see E return to, get back at them.
It does feel like one day Big E will come back. If he doesn't, I'd be very surprised if they used. But I mean, that's also a great storytelling device if they use the injury to write him off TV and also really dig that knife in deeper. But that is my five. Frank, did you have another honorable mention here? Did I hit it with Rhea and Dom?
It was Rhea and Dom, and I also think that we'd be doing a disservice if we didn't also mention the press conference for WrestleMania. Um,
Yeah, I was thinking about that if we want to like touch certain aspects of it, but I was like, I feel like we'll just not touch anything involving the main event, but that's fair. I mean, the press conference was awesome.
the press conference to me, it was so cool how it was a show, right? That was not that there was never going to be any wrestling on, right? And it basically they turned it into this awesome build, and it really set the stage for what we said was completely off limits, right? That main event match at WrestleMania.
For sure, there were so many great memories throughout the year. Very tough to pick five. To recap here, Frank, your five. Joe Hendry's debut. Jacob Fatu, I guess the whole year of. Jey Uso winning the Intercontinental Championship. Punk and Drew inside Hell in a Cell. And the Wyatt Six debut. For me, I have Roman and Cody's promo on the football field. I have Tiffy Time, the whole year of Tiffany Stratton. The OG Bloodline coming back together, the year of Chelsea Green, and the New Day segment. Frank, it's been a pleasure. Hopefully everyone enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching.